I think I just heard it said recording in progress, so we're good to go. What a thing this is. I'm looking at the faces there and I've smiled until my cheeks hurt. I mean, I'm not sure we're in the same order if I went around, but I'm going to just go ahead and call out names here. We have Marie Evehe over there. There she goes. They gave us a thumbs up sign. We have Missy Kiso. I better say Mboti Quan because I say the last names and then people are not going to know who. Then we have Marie Lottin as Marie Lottin over there. Then we have, did you go by Ma or Barbara in Seka? Both. Okay, Barbara or Ma Atogho right there. There she is. And then we have Jane Ane over there. And I forgot to even see where you all are coming from, but you all will see. And then this is Sarah Mengi right there. From here. And then there's Patty who's there as well, even though we don't see her face.
Amazing.
Yes, we've heard her voice. So I'm sure anybody who's watching this is going, so what is all of this about? That's because we just thought about, Seka turning 60 next year, January 29th. So we're all into our Seka mood and everything. And we have all been reflecting about what makes Seka special. Number one thing, the music, the singing. So we've all been reflecting about different people. And we know that for us, okay, we know Mr. Witt, whom none of us here met him in Seka, took that choir out to North America here, the States and Canada. But in our own time, and for a long stretch of time, it was Miss Kern. You said music, Miss Kern. And she didn't just do music, she did the plays. So I went trying to gather some pictures around to see of those plays. Amazing. When you look at it now from this thing, you just wonder how she put all of that together. And I started seeing the faces in those pictures. And that is how the memories began. And I was going to do just pictures. Then one day, that Mboti Quan you see up there sent me this song. Let me see if I can find the song and play it. You just bear with me. I'm going to try to see if I can find it. I had made a little list here. And I'm going to share my screen and try it. It will be this one right here. Please play. I hope it plays. It's supposed to take us to YouTube and then maybe we'll hear it play. Okay, let's go.
There was a man in Jericho called Zacchaeus. There was a man in Jericho called Zacchaeus. Now the Hebrews, they were tall, but Zacchaeus, he was small. Yet the Lord was Zacchaeus, better than them all. The Lord went walking one day through Jericho town, and the people began to gather from miles around. But Zacchaeus, he couldn't see, so he climbed a sycamore tree, and the Lord looked up and said, Zacchaeus, come down. There was a man in Jericho called Zacchaeus. There was a man in Jericho called Zacchaeus. Now the Hebrews, they were tall, but Zacchaeus, he was small, yet the Lord called Zacchaeus, better than them all.
All right, I will stop it there for now just because it is going to take us more time to go through all of that stuff. Yes, and we know that there are people there where NEPA is doing wonders, NEO is doing things. So while we have them here, let's just go ahead and do what we can. So that song, I don't know if you're able to see us while it was playing, we sang again. There's nobody who went to Seka for a certain amount of time in a certain era who does not know that song, or whom that does not bring memories. So maybe I want to start with Marie Evehe up there. What does that song do for you? You hear it and you think what?
I hear it and I see Seka Baptist College and I see our youthfulness and I see the play. I see Zacchaeus actually coming down. It's the nostalgia is just overwhelming. It's something that you cannot really describe. You know, at times you go through Seka and you want to graduate fast and you say, I want to go leave this place. But the truth about it is that Seka sowed a seed in us. And I said, we went to Seka, and I believe that Seka went through us. And if that's not the case, it's too bad for people who would not have that kind of experience, knowing that Seka went through us because it left something in our spirit.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Missy, you're the one who even found that song and sent it to me. I called my sisters, played it, and the three of us were singing. One sister in Limbe singing, the other one in Houston singing, and I was singing here. And our children don't get it because they don't even know what we're talking about, but we know. So what were you doing fishing around for songs, Missy?
Well, I realized that a lot of the songs that we learned at Seka, you don't hear them in lots of other places. We sing them in our churches, none of that. So I actually sing in a choir. They don't know any of our songs. So I go looking for them myself. The ones because, I only spent 1 year in Seka and then I escaped. But that particular song, I was part of the crowd and we were supposed to be strolling and following Jesus. But we kept dancing. And Miss Kern would pull her hair out and scream at us, "Stop dancing!" And Miss King was strumming away on her guitar and we were just dancing away. And it was one of the really fond memories I have of singing.
I can imagine.
Together. And the fact that we came to realize how much talent our fellow sisters in Seka had, all the people who had acting, speaking parts. I think everything was fantastic.
Right, right. Okay, there's two Maries. There's Marie from Canada who first spoke. Now this is Marie Lottin coming to us from the UK. All right.
Yeah.
And so Marie UK. Now, what are your thoughts? Your initial thoughts?
Oh, it's just nostalgia. That's the word that Marie used there. It just takes you right back. But what that particular song reminds me of is just the preparations for the plays, the props that that Miss Kern used to just have around, and especially this one for the Zacchaeus, he had to pretend to be up on a tree, and we were singing, and so the props, it just brought all of that back to me when I listened to the song earlier this week. Yeah, lovely.
Yes. Ma, what about you? You're coming to us from Florida, right?
Yes, yeah. It's just deep. It just went deep. It just awakened so much. Just to think of the preparations, the fact that the choir had to learn 52 songs for that particular play, which had this song of Zacchaeus. And the whole, just living out the whole life of Jesus. And just
that's Esther Chianan who just joined us. Hello. Yes, the recording has started, so we're going right on. Where are you coming to us from, Esther?
From the Netherlands.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. So you just hold that thought right there. Ma was in the middle of telling us about 52 songs. That's why I ran away from the choir.
Sorry, Ma.
Oh, you're very welcome, please. We're so glad to have you on. Yes. So I was saying that when I think of what Miss Kern put together to get us to enact the whole life of Jesus, and to do one scene after the other, that King House loan and everything that went on, I bet you, I was in the choir, that's why I remember exactly that we had 52 songs to learn. Some were very short, some were long, but of course, this Zacchaeus song, just as it got us all dancing, we all were dancing instead of doing whatever it was. Even
you had to do
it. But it's the memories are
just come flooding in.
Yes.
So let's move on over now to Jane. You see, let me explain something about how this whole thing went. Miss Kern, having been there for years, because I checked my records here, it says she arrived in Seka in 1965. We here are class of 65. I looked at the thing right here. If I can pull it out of my drawer and show you this little list here, which is a handwritten list of staff that came in at that time. It says right here, EUNICE Kern 65. Wow. So she started doing those play things quite early on, and then she would do them year after year and have these productions. So we kind of relate to different eras of when she did them. She had sent me, before God rest her soul, or we know she's passed on, she had sent me a ton of pictures. And I noticed that they were of different eras. There's an era when it was Sister Ethel Array who was Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's another area that I noticed where it is Sister Anne Bonde who was Jesus.
Yeah.
In our 80s era, it was Jane that you see right there. Who was Jesus? This Jane Ane Akob was from Bamenda, who was Jesus that year.
Yes.
And so I know all of this must have been extra special for you. Jane, what are your thoughts about all of this? What are your thoughts?
Thank you, Egbe. And to tell you the truth, nostalgia is small for me to even express because it's a life I've carried through. It's a life that has put me in a situation of a conscience that is so high just because of a role that I played in Seka Baptist College. But you know, I wanted to talk about the Zacchaeus part and the songs before I come to that. In the sense that this was a special kind of acting where it was just actions.
Right.
You had to play the actions while there was the narrative.
Tableau.
So you had to match the narrative and the actions that you were.
Oh.
And then, can you hear me?
You're back on now, yes.
Okay, so I was just saying, in addition to everything else, you had to act with a narrative. It's not like you were saying the words.
Yes.
And that was even more difficult.
Right.
And then the songs were part of the narrative of the play.
Right.
So if you had the Zacchaeus song, it had to be the Zacchaeus part that was being acted.
Right.
You know, what I sit and think about this all is, I don't know, the thoughts that Miss Kern had in her mind in selecting the various characters, to be honest.
Right.
It is something that fitted so well for the different roles that people played. And if this had been done some years back when she was alive, I think it would have really been a good thing to ask Miss Kern, what did you have in mind? Because she did this, you know, like on her own, after having studied probably all our characters or what, I don't know, to be honest, I don't know what she thought about. So, but it's one of those things that has lived on with us. Each time you think of the plays and the character you played, whether it was in the music, it was very special. That you know, that's what I have to say.
Right,
For
right.
now.
Yes. Oh, trust me, it's really for now that you're saying, because you have to be coming back and saying these things. So Esther, so what are your thoughts? Okay, you didn't hear what happened is we played that there was a man in Jericho called Zacchaeus song, and everybody was reacting to it. So you came in after the song had already been played, but then that's what we were reacting to. But we say, oh, Ngonde is back. Ngonde is back.
Yes.
Yes. So Ngonde, since you've been gone, Esther has joined, and so we have Esther with us then now. So what are your whole thoughts about this whole thing, this decision to even just sit back and reminisce and go back over our teenage years? Those were our teenage years.
Yeah. Just like what Jane said, when I was in Bamenda, me and her used to talk about, we used to reminiscence also through that. And when this sacred meeting, I'll tell her, I say, you are going to be the religious prefect because you were Jesus. And then she would tell me, no, but you were also there with Miss Kern. I said, no, you do it. So it's just through those things, they keep following us. We can't live without them. There are things that shaped us from that moment, and it keeps, like it's part of our being.
True.
That's what I see. And it has molded us in a way that, for me, personally, I think my family doesn't know that I did all those things, but if they have to know today, they will say, oh, now we understand. Now, because for everything that I do, I put that role first, and I think about it. And I was not an active member during that, during the play. I was one of the shepherds, and you people were doing the singing. And where is he that is born the King of the
Jews? Oh, where is
he? We're just doing
oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
I've forgotten that particular song.
Yeah.
Where is he that is born the King of the Jews?
Every Christmas I think of that song, and
You look at
just
it.
gives me,
There you go.
sometimes I become so emotional. It was moving and maybe.
It is something. Now, we haven't gone there, but we've already started going from, okay, we've talked about the Zacchaeus song. We've already started going to the various roles we played.
Yeah.
So we have gone there. They're coming to us from Abuja, all the way in Nigeria there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember, not too long ago, she even asked me, do you have a picture? What was your exact question that you asked me, Ngonde? Do you remember what you asked?
I think the picture of the whole cast, you know, we had this day where Miss Ken asked all those who took part in the play to come, I think behind Miss King House.
All right.
Yes, to take the pictures.
Yes. And then I was telling you, wait, let me see now whether my sharing skills are good, but I can even find the thing and pull that I'm looking for up. Now let's start with, I'm going to have to do a search here and see and find, because I try to put the things in albums. Let's see if I can put here. No, this is the one. Well, I can start with this one before I get back there. Let me start with this one, because I thought people have talked about Miss Kern. Let me. There you go. Yep. So see, this is what she did. This is her album. She put it in a good old carton and sent it to well, not this house. I was in the house I was in before I moved here.
Okay.
And this is how she labeled them. Let me click one after the other. You see, she says SBC Easter Choir 1976.
Easter.
Wow. They're the one in it. Next one, she goes, you see, exactly what Esther and Jane were describing. These were the narrators. Late Sister Frida Egbe, who was a pharmacist in Douala and was murdered. I mean, that was a terrible thing. God rest her soul. And Sister Stella Matike. So you see, these people will be telling the story. Why am I? They will be singing the 52 songs. The shepherds like Esther will be running up and down with their sheep. Yes. So look at these were called stage hands. Stage hands.
They brought in. Yes, they brought in.
They brought the props. Look at the manger right there. This is my sister. She has not seen this picture even. This is Namuno Dando right there. I think this is this girl who was Aswante. Aswante, I think.
Okay.
And there you go. Then I don't remember her name, but she's carrying baby Jesus, obviously.
Yes.
Sister Christy Acho. Look, this is a cage. Can you see this cager?
Yeah.
Those must be the dogs that were brought to the temple when Jesus was going to be named, and where he saw prophetess Anna and Simeon.
Okay.
Nearly a calabash. I don't know. Do you remember these ladies sat up and Tewolde.
Sally Juliet Sally?
No, Tewolde. The two Ethiopian, yes. Saba Membratu and Tewolde. Those are their names. Then they were there as stage hands. This is the famous King House everybody has been talking about. And this
yes, behind there.
This was the lawn, which does not even exist anymore. That's why we're even doing this. That's why I wanted us to do this, because kids who are there now, what King House now?
These buildings are not there anymore.
No, they have built things right here on the thing.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that I felt so sad and I cried when I saw that place had disappeared just because of the nostalgia.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, she put the things, you see those scripts, each went to his own country to be taxed. So they were going to be taxed. Then here, no room in the inn. Matangum, who is Mary in this one. I don't know who that is. That looks like Sister Gladys Egbe.
Yes,
it does.
Yeah.
Yes, and the innkeeper. So here's the manger scene. Let me go a little faster. Okay, look at the angels.
And Esther Chianan is probably there somewhere.
These shepherds down here. Just think about what it would take to make each angel's wings. Just one.
Yes, Miss Ken. That's some other thing.
Oh my
She
goodness.
did.
Costumes.
Yes,
She kept the costumes.
Right. All these
Dorothy Gala.
Here, right there. And you put all that shine around, even just one.
Around the angels' wings. Yes,
and then hold them and keep them for the next year. That was a lot.
I mean, if at that time, if you went to Miss Kern's house, it was the living room was full of material and costumes.
Always. That is one that he put it right here. Where is it? Right there. So these are the wise men, of course. This one I think Emmanuel Makia, that wise man there. And then let's go. Yes, that is her right there. And Sister Martha Gumna has had her baby Jesus. They bought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Let me go a little faster. These are the sins. Now let us now thy servant depart in peace. That means that Kenja, there goes the Kenja, right?
Simon.
Yes, in the temple. There you go. So these are the pictures of that.
Oh my.
This is the sister Anna Bonde time.
Yeah.
Jesus, behold the Lamb of God. So that must have been, so all of that stuff. What must I do to inherit the eternal life? That must be Nicodemus then.
Yes.
Yes, go and sell all you have and give to the poor. Oh my goodness.
Oh, the 10 lepers.
Yeah, have mercy.
Oh, goodness.
Say, have mercy. It's 240. You know, this is the one you have it said go. Where are the 9? You see, this one came and gave God thanks.
The 9 didn't come.
The 9 didn't come. So you see, she sat down, went back. You know how these albums are. I put that album upstairs here. That sticky thing. You know, you pull the film off, you put things together, you close it right back up. I'm sure we're talking some kids now are like, what are they saying? They don't like that, but that's how it used to be. Right. So you see, I'm just going through really quickly. So you see the parable of the virgins, the foolish ones there, and the wise ones.
The costumes. Oh, she was.
Kadoska, she was great with the costumes.
Yes, she did a lot of
Yes, she stitched all of them. Yes.
Yes, just like our uniforms.
Yes, she sewed everything.
Oh.
So I'm going to go through this real quick so we get to this. Okay, just look at these shoes. Look at the shoes with all this rope. You know,
Pontius Pilate and the
Pontius Pilate and the soldiers.
And you see what people may not understand, we're all excited and gushing. People used to come for miles and miles around. They would watch. Here where the chapel, there was no chapel, that big chapel that wasn't there. They would occupy the whole field and watch.
Yes.
Let me let Patty in. She's trying. I see Patty's trying to get back in and watch.
And the lights even, and the play of the lights.
Yeah, there was special lighting.
Yes.
And she had sound effects.
From different angles.
That sound effects for thunder.
Sound effects. Yes.
Sound effects.
She
thunder sheets.
Time to take a minute and also recognize the Mr. Bowers and Mr. Fawos who were in the workshop there.
Yeah.
She got to do these things.
Yes.
She had the ideas and she told them and they worked. So
and they did them.
Yeah. Now come the hanging on the cross and everything. This is what and pray in Gethsemane and all of that stuff. So,
Easter.
Yes, Easter. So we went not Christmas, was the life of Jesus, the entire thing. Calvary and all of this stuff. Okay. So I just sat and scanned the things one by one and scanned them and got them done. So let me stop this share for a minute. And let's go back to just us there and look at what we just saw. I'm going to go back after a minute and go and try to find the ones that were more of our day, of our own era. So we can also now spot the people in the pictures. All of these we saw there, those we could recognize, that we could see clearly, we know they were ahead of us. The time came, as I was saying, when it was Jane and the people that you see here that were in the choir acting. Marie is sitting there, she's not saying anything because I don't think she's very proud of the role she played. Marie from Kern saying I was a shepherd, I was Jesus. I sang in the choir. Only Marie.
I haven't said anything because I was Judas.
Judas Iscariot.
And you know, it's when I think about that, and then I remembered, I'll just go a bit off there. I went back to Seka years after I had graduated, and I went to the Seka compound, and I was walking around, and then those small children who saw me acting Judas, they had grown, and then one of them looked at me and said, "I know you. You are Judas."
You remember that?
Oh my goodness. I said, "What? These children, how could they?" He said, "I know you. You were Judas. You were Judas."
Because they saw you well under that lighting.
I am telling you, they saw me and they could take a picture of me and remember. So yes, I was that disciple who betrayed Jesus.
I'm going to give
that means that your acting was memorable.
exactly. That's what I mean.
For them to remember that,
And,
yes.
and just to remind you of two things, that Miss Kern, I don't know what Miss Kern saw in me, and that's why I felt a bit sad that I could not even attend her funeral, although I'm in Canada, and it was like 3 hours drive, but unfortunately,
And in your defense, it was short notice.
it was short notice, and I wasn't driving at the time, so I was pretty new in Canada. I didn't even know my way around. But then Miss Kern made me play 2 roles in Seka, which the name kind of stuck to me. Thank God that I am a believer.
Amen.
And that also helped me. That also helped me because I played Shylock. You know? Yes. I go from Judah to Shylock. Give me my pound of flesh. I want my pound of flesh.
You know that in Hollywood, there's certain people good at being bad guys.
Right, because you were
You
were a no-nonsense girl.
I think Miss Kern knew us, and I think she saw us, and she related our characters because she certainly saw that person who is
she's a no-nonsense person.
Yes, and who wants everything done right and to the point, and who insists on what is right to the point that many people take it.
No.
Right.
Now we just go understand to laugh. She's like,
I'm laughing. No, I'm laughing because she was my dumb head in shows, and I know what I went through.
You are old for that matter.
She was fun.
It was very strict.
I don't know if she remembers, but I always have this in mind whenever I see her name. Even when I saw her in New Jersey, the first thing that came to my mind was what happened during this period where we used to go to Likumba to fetch water. And you know, at night, the dumb heads will go around cutting using small. Then this day, I was rather the unfortunate person, as in she didn't go out using the small titty pail to cut water from all buckets. I just sat at my corner that morning around 4 a.m. I remember very well. And behold, I saw my bucket, my name, Martins, moving. I didn't see who picked it.
If you don't go sleep and watch bucket of water,
I tell you.
See, I'm no lie. When I woke up from my bed 4 a.m., I told myself, I said, today I'm ready to leave Seka. And so I pursue and enter bathroom.
Pursue the bucket.
As soon as she see me, she said, gone. I said, no, Martins, what are you doing here? I said, sorry, Sister Marie, you took my bucket of water. You know the answer now, the usual answer. And so what? Myself, as I stand there, I see Sister Marie, don't they brushing teeth? I tell myself, I say today, I'm ready to leave Seka. Now, so we fight on top of that bucket of water. I poured the water. I finally poured. That we fight on top of the water. And so I poured the bucket. I said, this one, I'm ready. You know, Sister Marie came back to the dorm. I was waiting that morning. I think inside the ref or during breakfast or something, my name was going to come up.
Punishment.
Nothing. Sister Marie said nothing. Up till today, me and her inside the
For those who get what we're saying here, every girl listening to this knows exactly what we're talking about.
What we're saying.
But for the benefit of those who don't, when I talk about water, because there wasn't any water flowing from any faucet or anything, you went to a stream down there to get to access. You use the correct word, fetch water, like Jack and Jill. And Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. And you came back on there, and that's what you have to take to wash yourself.
I tell you,
everything.
So when you're from 5, if you don't have any water, somebody just go take. And so this one that was really
just cut at night, just cut. By the morning, you wake up, your buckets.
the funniest thing and most
Oh my God.
in the evenings there, you're supposed to be on your bed doing devotions, right? You're singing all those songs, and then you're hearing then they cut water for outside. So I'm praising this God.
The next thing you're jumping out of your bed is like, what the heck, man?
You're going to go, so you sit there and tell, oh, children, go where I send it. I will send it. I will send it.
Oh gosh, oh my.
My goodness.
So you can hear the water being cut outside the next day. No, we've gone through.
Thank you.
We're going to have to get back to this thing, or we'll never finish this. So God, they were talking. But when she asked me that question, I went back and tried to look. Let me even go. I may not be able to find the exact thing right this minute, but at least I can find, because I tried to put an album together for just this chat. So it will be all over the place, not exactly what Ngonde is looking for right this minute, but explaining something. So this is that same one. I want to go this way and see if I can find, yes, go back up here, get out of this album that we saw. Look at all those pictures she sent. She took the time to collect them and keep. Wow. I'm going to try to search now for this one. Okay, and explain what's going on there. Am I sharing my screen?
Yes.
So there, I started it with this one. Okay, this is what she looked like when she was in Seka days. Like Seka days. There she is standing in front of her house. Yes, her house was that house near the mango tree that was by Kennedy Dome. Going to the chapel. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, what sacrifice?
Right. Oh. Right. So then, I mean, we already talked about the fact that she has passed on. So let me show that this is the celebration of life. Marie referred to it. So she was born May 13, 1931. So you see how they looked old to us already then. But obviously they were not as old as we thought, because she was born in 31. By the time she came to Seka in 65, I mean, what are the mathematicians there? Don't know, I not disgrace myself. She came to Seka in 65 and she was born in 31. How old was she when she came?
35.
35?
34.
34. You see, that's a 34-year-old woman.
Older than me, Mama.
Yes.
And
so
that's
the 34-year-old woman. Correct. 34-year-old woman who came out to Seka there. And so we know she passed on June 5th, 2015. So that was that. But then this is a picture of her with somebody plated her throwaway. That's her. Yes. This is Mrs. Guan.
Yes.
So but I don't know which of them. Maybe it's all 4 of them who joined and plated her the throwaway. That's throwaway. Yes. And then
the one who taught in college, like
then she is teaching.
And then she taught Bible, because she didn't just do the singing thing. Bible.
Yeah, she did Bible.
Teaching Bible and sewing.
Yes.
You have to learn all the books of the Bible.
And sewing, yes.
You know, I looked at this picture and just even thought of those desks we sat in.
Those are our desks with our
The textbooks were right here.
Textbooks
The ledger. That's the thing. Ledger was right here. And then you had your name would be in the front right here, in this front part of the thing, right there. And then I don't know what class this was back in the day. So this was her life in Seka. Of course, that's her up there teaching.
Yeah.
And she was on the staff for a while. So this is the staff from before we got there. You see, that's Patambe.
And I can see Patambe.
Of course, Baba is there. This is Mrs. Kaman when she came back. When she came back afterwards, Madam Iwanga, Binder. Yes.
Miss Binder.
That's Mr. Ekema back there, and Mr. Monono, Mr. Ekema right there, Mr. Monono.
Yeah.
Wilma.
Finance treasurer.
Correct. We're talking about, remember about the Seka song books before we started recording the show. So this is the person who will sit and be typing those things. She typed some, he typed some as well, and then she'll go and have them bound. I'm going to read a letter that she said explaining those things. But let's go to a staff picture that is more of our time.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Ooh, Afro man.
Mr. Sere.
Anthony.
Anthony.
Tony Pike, PK.
Monsieur Lebouk.
Eyong Tata, where he passed away in that day.
Tangam.
He was
Wow.
buried in that
Tangam.
day.
Yes.
Tangam.
Hey, Madam Eno.
Madam Eno.
Eno, yes.
Hey, Mrs. Kendall.
Mrs. Kendong. Kendong.
Kendall.
Yes. The Yoruba Kukulan.
Mesendame.
Mrs. Pangame. Right.
All right, and then
This is a Christine Gang, right?
No.
Matangum.
Mother Chung, well, she's back. Mary
Santa. Mary Santa.
Oh, Mary Santa. Yes.
Yes. It's Mary Santa.
Now Mary Baffo. Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mr. Crump.
Mr. Crump. Mr. Crump.
Yes.
Oh, if you don't like my class,
He's one who took you to who took math class to Dualato.
Yes.
yes.
Sister Lois.
Sister Lois Ikome, who was senior prefect when I was in Form 1 and who came back to teach.
Bahadi.
Madam Wanga, Bahadi, follow the direction of my pointing
Of my finger.
when he's kicking you out of class.
He sent
Oh,
us to get
gosh.
Bible. He sent people to get Bibles, and then he locked the door and said, "You are the foolish virgins."
Exactly.
Your Bible.
Exactly. I don't remember her name. Does anybody remember her name? Is this
Susan.
Miss Bean?
Miss Bean, yes.
Miss Bean.
Bean.
All right.
Bean.
Beloved Baba.
And Bindi Tanga Bafu.
And then Pai coming. And then of course it's Kern herself right there. She was on the staff at this time. That's why we're all excited because these were the people that were our teachers.
Yes.
God rest the souls of those who have gone on, and then we are grateful. Truly.
Amen.
We really are. And then bam, here we go.
Jesus!
That's Jenna. Yes, that's
So
Jenna.
there is the Jane you see sitting over there that we have on the call now. There she is being Jesus.
And Sarah Mengot.
Mengot, who was here at the beginning of the chat, coming to us from Nigeria, and then she.
Comfort attitude.
Okay, so we can start. Okay, Marie, do you want to do the
Ansel and Fee.
Hold on. Let's just have one person go on, Marie, and just go.
So that's Ansel and Fee.
Yeah.
Doris for Lemo.
Yeah.
Christine for Retia.
Yeah.
Jams.
That is Jamsi,
Jamsi. Ekobena.
Joanne.
Of course, Judas Iscariot.
Closest to Jesus.
Jane Ane, Sarah Mengot. Comfort Attitude. Doris 80. Kwanyo.
Agi Kwanyo.
Katrine Jongo.
Is that Katrine Jongo?
Stella
Shoe.
It looks like Stella.
Okay.
Stella Shoe.
And then is it Esther Tembe?
Yes.
I'd like to say something.
Please say something.
Yes.
Should I stop the share for a minute? Let me stop the share for a minute. Okay, go on.
I was in Form 1 at the time, and all these people at the desk seemed so grown up to me back then. And I'm looking at them now, and they were children.
Yeah.
When we were in Form 1, the Form 5 girls seemed so big and grown up and mature, and children.
And you see, let me jump in right there to say something, because you still see people who are very, very upset with their time in Seka and cannot forgive one Form 5 girl who took their gari up to the now. And I'm trying to say, think about it. They were just being mischievous. I don't know that not many were mean-spirited.
Teenagers.
Think about the 15-year-old that you are raising in your house, the 14-year-old that you are raising in your house.
Now what
Most of it was not like that. But at our own ages too, we took it to heart because it was painful. But look at this little people here. I mean, what were they really going to do to anybody? So you're right. I'm glad you made that statement, Missy. We felt big, we looked big. Nothing of the sort. Look at this little chochora people here. They're looking at it.
But they did have power. They did have power over the younger ones.
Exactly.
They did.
Yep.
And you know, all of us, we really look like Innocencia Lazaruses. All of us.
Yes. So, now after that, so that's Jesus and his disciples. Okay. And then so this is Miss Kern with the touring choir. You say she did choirs. This is her and her choir things. This is way before we got to Seka.
Yeah.
This is part of that play too. I think this is Dorothy in Jilly. Somebody could be that.
Jilly.
Yeah.
Yes, my classmate.
Yeah, that's Dorothy in Jilly. And this is Beatrice Mensah, who was Pilot's wife.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. And then this looks like Seranju to me.
Yeah, it's Seranju.
Yes.
Right. And then I cannot quite tell the faces.
That looks like Jamie and Mufa right next to Seranju.
Right here, yes.
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 Looks like Jamie.
That looks like, I feel. And then this looks like one of those rooks, you know, the rooks girls that were there.
Cheryl.
Yes. Very much so.
Cheryl Rooks.
Yes. So these are the productions that Miss Kern did.
Oh,
if you look at all of that, those spears, the hats of the soldiers, all that stuff, the shields. Look at the shining shields. I thought she took how many rolls of aluminium foil to cover those shields to make shields. Like it to shine in the night. Then this is another choir of hers that she had. Before we got there.
Too much from one person.
Yes.
Florence
Wei, right there.
Yes.
And then sister, she was from 5 and from 1. Gladys Ewang.
Grace.
Ewang. And it looks like a Yonkuma right here.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that's another choir that she had. And here comes Ngonde. And let us all stop, be quiet and Ngonde speak. Ngonde Martins from Abuja speak and let us hear.
I can't see myself. Okay.
So who's this?
Please, I beg, tell me the one on the left. Who are the good thieves? Is it the one on the left or the one on the right?
The one on the left is a bad one.
Who was the bad one?
Look at her trying to be the good thief. There you are hanging on the cross, looking every bit a thief there for no reason. Who's a co-thief?
Lucingia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then this is I think this is Michelle Gwangali right here. Look at that.
That's Sharon Romero.
Where?
Sharon Romero.
Right here. With the CNU cover. This is Aijo. This Aijo right here in this cover.
I think this person the soldier kneeling looks like Ane Akob, my classmate.
This one.
Yes, the one.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is the Sarah. That is clearly Sarah now that we saw in the last picture. And thought it was. And this is it was her.
Is that Veronica Ugunye Sarah?
Ife.
Possibly. Possibly. And then I don't know that this is Lydia Njiba.
Possibly.
Oh yeah.
Possibly. And then Vivian Aye, because I don't know anybody this light skin.
Okay.
Yeah, Vivian Aye.
Maybe.
Is that when we saw it behind Vivian?
Like here.
Not head. No, to the
near the thief.
Possibly.
Could be.
Yeah, she's the one.
To the left is Ane Akob, then Hannah Beck, then Sharon.
Me next. Please.
Yeah. May her soul rest in peace. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. That looks like Mbele too.
Ages.
You see what is
that looks
happening
like Mbele also too.
Where?
Yes,
One of the soldiers kneeling.
Yes, this is Mbele right here. Now that you said so. That is Mbele.
Mojoko Endeli.
That's true. Wow.
Okay.
Memories. Oh my goodness.
Yes. And we're doing this, and why are we saying all these names? Because we know that they are going to watch this and listen to it and then hear their name called, and then you can call their children and come and say, look at me back in the day. What struck me was I could not get over this CNU cover. I tell you. I said somebody but their mother CNU cover, they completely Aijo in the thing. Wow. That is something, but that's just the place. Complete. She did the thing. Look at even the sign they had Jesus' head.
INRI, that's right.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
Sharon is there. Sharon is in Maryland. I met her last year.
Yes. She is.
So is this a picture of the whole cast?
Eunice Funjong. Is that not Eunice Funjong near the Lucinji? And then maybe Quinta?
Quinta Zege.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
you
Quinta
need
Zege.
Fujong and then Quinta. Yes.
Yes.
Then there's Dinah Becker. Dinah Becker.
Here, right?
It is.
Oh my goodness, Becker Brazil.
It is.
What an irony.
I tell you.
Amazing.
Then you have Grace Ambo. Grace Ambo just
Exactly. I didn't want to say anything. This is Grace Ambo.
Yeah.
Whose daughter also ended up going to Seka, Lovelin Anago, who is in the UK. So that's my mother. You should be glad to see this.
Yes. And then the person after Michelle, what was her name?
Pelatia Fomba.
Yes, she had a peculiar name. I was looking for that.
Thank God they came back at that in Nepa.
I was looking for.
I would have been able to tell these people.
I was wondering whether it was Exiba or what. It was Pelatia Fonba. Yes, that's Pelatia.
Yes.
Who's the other?
The other pool.
The other thing.
Hey, who is that in Vivian Gwenson next to Pelatia?
I don't know.
Vivian Gwenson.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like Vivian Gwenson. You're right. Yes, it looks like Vivian Gwenson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then, but who is this? I don't want to know. I think it is
either
Marie.
Either Atekwana or Tembunde. I mean, yes, Atekwana or Tembunde.
Okay.
Stella Tembunde, Atekwana. I don't know.
Okay. So I was wondering whether I was
I don't recognize.
Yes. Okay.
All
right. So this one picture, you see, we can sit here and talk for 30 minutes on this one picture.
Yeah.
Is this Patti Defan next to Embedded? In front of Embedded.
She's the one, yeah.
Oh, for real. Patti Defan in Colorado, they're Patti Tilong.
Yes, Patti Tilong.
Embedded Tumbe.
Yes, it's Embedded and Mojoko.
The other soldier, who is this one? Next to the thief on the left. This no.
On our left.
Yeah, our left. Yeah, here. Yeah,
Quinta Zege.
No, this one.
This other thief.
No, not this thief.
No,
very. I think
you have Chantal Guanula. You have Mosoko Linda.
Okay.
You have Lydia. You have Moki Elizabeth. You have
this side. Yeah.
We used to call her the worms. Oh God. The worms ate them up. Oh God.
We should, you know what I'm thinking? We should have done this show live. I tell you.
Yes.
Prudence. Oh my goodness.
Oh Lord.
I'm even afraid to even continue the album because I'm going like, when are we? Just one picture. We've been on the thing for I don't know how long. Let me see what else was there. Okay, another choir. Another choir.
Hey.
This would be the Form 5 girls when I was there.
Yes.
I can see as the Sister Grace Ewang again.
Yeah, Sister Grace Ewang. And I see Sister Dorothy, behind Sister Grace Ewang, Dorothy, I think she's the one who is married to one of the Seka teachers.
That's a nice one.
Okay. I see Sister Regina Akob.
Okay, Regina Akob. Then Sakaro and Yangwe is in front of.
Yeah, Sakaro and Yango standing near Sister
Sister Judith.
The one behind Sister Florence. Sister Grace Itombi, I think. Is this Sister Itombi?
I don't know. Look at Sister Meridoya. Sister Meridoya. I just saw her now.
Yes.
Benis Tata.
Yes. Sister Rose Funjong too.
Correct. I saw her. This is somebody Tingume. Regina Tingume.
Is that not Star? Is it Rose Tankwa?
Yes, Rose Tankwa. Yes.
Am I left, right?
No.
Behind Benis. Yeah, no, above. Yes. That's Sister Rose. Ahead. No, Rose Funjong. Actually,
no.
Yeah, Rose Funjong here.
Yes, that one.
Yes.
So if you go on the second row, you go second row and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes,
Rose Tankwa.
True.
Yes, Rose Tankwa. That's true.
Yes.
Is this the Justine Bamu or no?
Yeah, that could be Sister Justine.
No.
Their sister, she's in Maryland.
Mercy Darcy.
Yes, Mercy Darcy.
Oh, Mercy Darcy,
yes. And then these are classmates, 2 persons to the right from her. I forget her name.
2 persons to the right. This one.
yes.
Deborah Makia.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Is that Sister Marie? I said, Marie, Sister Marie, is that you?
Where?
Back there.
No, I don't think this is not that class.
No,
the
Marie
truth
Lottin.
No, okay. Because I would have said the truth about it is that in Seka, nobody knew that I could
This
sing.
one, I know her, but I don't know her name again. Oh.
This was my sister Pamare.
No, it doesn't.
It's not her.
No.
Okay, so this is like, these are the classes. This is clearly class of 77 and 70.
Yeah, I think that's me there.
78,
No,
thereabout.
not 78 because I came in 77. So these people, I didn't even.
They are not 70.
No, you have to have met them. You don't. That didn't meet Sister Mary. That is Sister Jess's classmate.
No, Form 4 and Form 5s.
You
Form
didn't
4s and Form 5s. I didn't meet some of them.
meet Sister Jessie.
I met Sister Jessie, but so it has her classmates and then maybe the batch.
It's a combination.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
several
combination of
classes.
78 and 77.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
That's
not
it.
77, maybe 76 and 77.
No, Sister Grace Ewang is 77, lucky class, right there.
Okay, she
Lucky.
graduated in 77 and I got in September 77.
That's what happened. That's what
Oh,
happened.
okay.
Yes, because those are when I met in class 1 and you came behind me in class 2.
Yes,
So that makes
yes,
perfect sense.
Right.
Because
Then
Rose
Banga Bush. Hey, see Banga
because
Bush.
Rose Tankwa was 2 classes ahead of me.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
She's 78. And
Then
then the 77 we're ahead of them. That's Baba's house at the back.
Bush.
His first house.
Then
Yeah.
Banga Bush.
Yeah, at
Hey.
the back there.
Baba's house, we used to go and buy a Miss Girl.
I mean,
Yeah,
Mami Baba.
oh, dude.
And
Mami
Granot-
Baba.
I tell
Right.
you,
And blockade.
Right. So this is that choir.
That is
Oh,
that
That's my
choir.
team.
I am in that picture.
That
It
is
is,
that
this is the choir.
Son
This is the choir
God.
of the dresses that were made when after the fire disaster.
After the fire.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, we sang Son of
Correct.
God and rain fell. Patis put that in the
Yeah.
chat just now.
Right.
And we're doing Son of God, and then the rain came and Miss Ken nearly fainted.
I only showed this one through that her plastic album, so you can see the color of the things. But there's a better picture that shows now that we can actually go with the faces. So we're going to find one person who can do some names so that we don't all yell over each other. So here we go.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Very Banta.
very bad thing.
Very bad. Okay, no.
Esther,
Let's find Marie. You are there, right? Marie, you are right here. This is you.
Marie Lottin, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
So you're appointed now to go over the names. Whatever names you don't know, we will help you. By the way, and this is Ma. This is Ma right here, the Barbara.
Yes.
There she is.
Yeah.
And that is Jane, Jesus, and choir.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Okay,
Ma,
there's no
who's
name.
doing Marie? Marie, are you good with names and faces?
no.
Go on.
Okay, so Ma, you are
Barbara would give the
Ma,
name.
okay, go. So whatever I don't remember, I will go. So let's start from here.
There are also those names at the side. They say.
I wrote them based on my own memory.
Yes. Okay.
So and I have question marks in there. That's why I said let me just let one person read them. So go on.
Okay. So that was Mary Bate,
Mhm.
Lucy Banta, Hannah Kwene,
Yeah.
Gladys Janga,
Oh.
Fomukong,
Josephine.
Josephine Fomukong.
Mhm.
Where are my SP?
Yes, senior prefect.
Theater.
She's passed on now.
Yes.
Bo.
Vivian Umasi.
Ah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Kwenkam Catherine.
Oh.
Stella Nunga.
Okay, where did you go? This is Jane.
No, this is Jane.
No,
Jane
that
Hanley.
is Stella Nunga.
Stella Nunga.
That is
That's still Anunga. That's still
True.
Anunga.
That's Stella Nunga.
Jane, were you
Jane
there?
was busy.
Jane is gone.
Oh, okay.
No, that
we
was
lost
Stella
Jane.
Nunga. That
Okay, so
definitely.
Stella Nunga, go on.
It dropped out.
I've forgotten her name.
Rose
It's your
Motinda.
classmate.
Rose Motinda.
Motinda.
Rose
Motinda.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
yes.
Then Cecilia Enoncho.
Quinta.
Yes.
Quinta Enoncho.
Mhm.
And is that Therese Doko?
Therese
Yes,
Litumbe.
it is. Teresa Doko.
Only Tumbe.
Doko.
Mm.
Patricia.
Then Orinji Tanifo.
Orinji.
Yes. Then Akenji.
Mercy.
Akenji.
Akenji.
Mercy.
Then Elizabeth Tanjong. Angui.
No.
Then late Sister Vivian Dinga.
Uh-huh.
Then Elizabeth Sieni.
Mhm.
And I don't
Beta
know.
Tankwa.
Beta
Younger
Tankwa.
sister of the Rose Tankwa we just saw. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, here.
And then who's that?
I can't tell either.
What was her name? The name is familiar.
I don't even recognize the face, so I can't even tell.
Yes.
Okay, let's go on. Let's just take care of Daki at the back here.
Yes, Sister Daki.
Daki.
That's right. Daki Williams.
Late.
But when there was one fire thing in Seka, her grandmother came. Wusa Wokolode. Oh my God! I'm sorry.
No problem. That was a good break between the whole thing.
Look, there's so much. I don't know how we'll ever go through all of this. Okay, that's late Sister Flo. Oh, Ngole. And that's Olivia
Ngu.
Oh.
Yes, that is Maru.
Oh.
And that was
Roslyn Dinga.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
When we used to say, come say the Watarat, come along to school. Come and say a table sitting in a row. That was from a poetry book in Manambo. I better we just leave it alone. Let's keep going.
Oh my God. Okay, so that is Clara Egbe.
Let's Clara Egbe.
Basketball player.
Yes.
Sister Pauline Ako.
Yes.
Jane Gogomo.
Oh.
Yes. Gogomo. Sister Marie Lottin.
Oh, really?
My SP.
Yes. The SP. Sister Agioku.
Correct.
Then Yolanda Nukuri. Landy Nooks. Kake, Elizabeth
Kake.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Then Valerie
Fange.
Valerie Fange. Then Julindi.
Julie.
Then Harriet Nokuri.
Yes, these two are sisters right there.
Yes. Anita Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Then my Ilima. Yes.
Yes.
And then
Felicia Dima.
correct.
Felicia Dimla.
Yes.
Dimla, yeah.
Yes.
The whole thing. Yes. So that's it. But so we know the real color of this was this color. It was pink like that. But that's what it looks like. And look at how she took the time and did the musanga. Everybody had the same.
The same.
Sure.
Yes. Everybody had the same.
Miss Kern.
Right. And then do I have anything more? Okay, that's her right there and her family. And her family. She passed on. And then now let me explain this. I sent an email. In fact, maybe I should even try to see if I can. I had pulled it up. I tried to go print it so I could read it. And then the printer was acting up. So let us just hold this thought right here. See if I can find that email and read it. This is like later on, like when she was back in Canada. And this is the secretary at their church. So what happened was this. Let me stop the share and see what I can do. Come back and look and start over another share so I can see, I find a different thing. I think it is this one right here. And then maybe you can see it as I try to read it. It is this one.
Yeah.
People can see it, right?
Yeah.
Look at it. Look at the date. It was Thursday, March 1st, 2012. At 1:49 a.m. Trust me, those by days when I wake up I don't sleep at 1, wake up at 2. So see, I said, dear Miss Kern, it is 2 a.m. out here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I know you must be fast asleep and will only see this when you wake up. But I just felt like I needed to say this right now before I go back to bed. My bedside radio is permanently tuned to a station called BBN, Bible Broadcasting Network. They broadcast the most beautiful traditional hymns and songs, which I know only too well from my Seka dining hall morning devotion days, because you, Miss Kern, taught them to us. Then, what I enjoyed most was the melody. Now, what means so much more to me are those wonderful lyrics. Throughout the year, my ears and soul are blessed with. And I started listening some songs. Someday when this earth has run the course that God intended, which way the Jesus is coming. Then, troublesome times
are here, feeling this my way was dark and dreary.
I can never
tell how much
I love him.
I was keeping the lines. And I can sing all 3, 4, or 5 verses of these hymns and songs by heart. Why? Because we trained us that way.
Yes.
Amazingly, though, in my mind's eye, as I sing along, I see the long blue songbook and the short pink songbook that you typed and compiled yourself, complete with the solfa notes and the Falling to Pieces hymn book that had piano scores in it, because we still had those. There's some small book like that actually had the things with the piano notes in the thing.
Yeah.
As I was drifting off to sleep, BBN began to play There's a Wonder of Sunset at Evening.
Yeah.
It's a wonder of sunset
at evening. The wonder of sunrise.
Sunrise I see.
Oh,
There.
The
Yes. That thrills my soul. There you go. So I was saying to her that I hadn't,
that God loves me.
yes. So I hadn't heard this particular song in ages. I sat straight back up, sang the entire song along with the broadcast, and then headed straight to this computer to just thank you for your astounding ministry through music. It has uplifted, consoled, admonished, reassured, and just plain blessed me and so many of your other sacred daughters over the years. Having said all that, I can now creep back into bed and get a few more hours sleep before I head out for another day's work teaching French at Mallard Creek High School, which I'm still doing now. And I said, God bless you, ma'am, and signed the thing. And then I said, attached is a page from the Thank You Sika magazine, because we know I just had the Jubilee. This was 2012. We had the Golden Jubilee in January. So I had the booklet and I scanned a page of who were saying, thank you, Miss Kern, and sent it to her. This now right here is what she sent back, which explains how she put all of that together. I don't know whether I want to read this now or whether what do you all think we should do? Because she came back, this is her now responding on March 2nd, 2012. Look at her, she was a night owl. So she said that she came and said, Egbe, it's 9:30 a.m. Okay, but when she started writing it, I've been up for about an hour. I like to sleep in the morning. I am what some would call a night owl. During the day, I do what has to be done, but in the evening and late at night, I can find all kinds of things to do. And as a result, I stay up late. I think you and I will get on quite well when I see the times you write your emails. She was right. Thank you for your words and comments in your last email. You have no idea how much I enjoyed teaching the songs you girls learned. When I first arrived at Sika, I knew nothing about solfas.
No, she did not.
I was shocked.
Really?
She did.
I had everything.
I thought, she said, I had always known staff notation. It was Mrs. George Henderson. Her picture appears in the staff tribute section. Yeah, I know what she's talking about, an album that I had made, who showed me and taught me how to transpose notes to solfas.
Wow.
It was a lot of work. The most was the typing and to make sure that I hit the correct typewriter key. You see, but I enjoyed it. Exactly. Yes. We don't have any luxury. But I enjoyed it all. And today, when I hear Sika girls sing, I get goosebumps. Wow. And it brings tears to my eyes all the time. All the time. Okay, it brings tears to my eyes. All the time and work it took is forgotten. Wow. I too remember both the blue and pink books.
Oh, she did.
The pink one came first. When everything had been typed, which I did myself, and the typing was done on what was called mimeograph sheets. I think how they call it, carbon paper.
Okay.
Yes. Then I took these sheets to the office and either Bate or Monono, Bate was the person who was secretary before Mr. Monono came, would run them off on the machine. I think sometimes the principal and Miss Binder thought I was using too much paper. I did have the principal's permission to do this. Yes, and he finally went to say, no, I didn't do anything wrong. Then when all the mimeographing was done, the pages had to be assembled. The pages were spread out in stacks, beginning with the cover to the last page.
Wow.
Now you remember how thick the books were.
The books were.
Yes. Yeah.
That was the thickness of each pile. And if each would be in the end, I think she meant each book would be in the end 50 pages. That is how many piles there were.
Yeah.
So the girls would go round and round and round the table, making sure the pages were in correct order.
I remember that task.
I remember too.
You see, until every page was picked up, front cover and back cover included. Now the piles were too thick to be stapled with an ordinary stapler. So they were taken to a printing press in downtown Victoria, Limbe, and they stapled them and also put a binding on them. Quite a process. Today, it would be done quite differently, of course.
Yeah.
Although the typing would be done on a computer keyboard, I don't think there would be a sulfur spell checker. No. Probably would have to be done by reading each page. Yes, it was a lot of work, but so rewarding. Look at how many exclamation marks to put. I wonder if any of those books are still around.
I have
Wow, we do.
Or have they gotten new owners?
I don't
We
have.
have abridged
I have mine.
versions.
I have the two.
Yes.
I don't even
Wow.
have one.
I have my two.
Wow.
Oh,
I beg,
Barbara.
make it
Yeah, yeah,
please.
yeah,
Barbara,
yeah.
you have Barbara,
Please
you
send
have
to
an
us as
assignment.
Christmas gift, I
You
beg.
owe us,
Barbara,
you
print
owe
them
us those
for you.
books. Get those books,
Send
take
my
them to
own money.
Staples.
As Christmas gift 2021, I beg.
I
Amen.
beg, I get to go Cameroon before I go take them. That's the sad side of it.
We can cotize, we can get together and put something together. Actually, do have that thing printed for real.
Yes, for real.
It
We
would
can
be
do
worth
that.
it.
Ike has one.
Sorry, just let me interrupt you. Be talking about recollecting these things, these treasures. I have my 3H book. I have been wanting to retype it because the treasures that are in there, the things that
I think you sent me some pictures of that book. I'm going to go look and find and try to find
I
it.
also have it.
Yes. I wonder if any of those books, just read that part. By any chance, did you help to assemble the blue book? I sure did. Or was the book already there when you arrived at Seka? No, I helped to assemble.
No, assemble.
When I read your email and you were thinking back, I was also reminded of the number of trips I made to Christian bookstores looking for suitable music that I could use. I thought she came back from Canada with her music.
Yeah.
It was now that I'm saying that she just go around looking for music that she could use. I also remember how I searched for plays that someone else had written, but that would be suitable for use at Seka.
Wow.
Now, the Easter play, the one done outside. Let me move the thing. I have it here. The one done outside, I wrote that myself.
Oh,
For that money.
Before I went to Cameroon,
Wow.
before I went to Cameroon, when I was in Bible college, I had the opportunity, by the way, college, not be college, like a college, that's university.
a university.
I had the opportunity to assist in directing something like that, but on a much smaller scale. I also had opportunity to attend a presentation of a miniature passion play. Have you heard of the one that is presented in Lade, South Dakota? No, I don't heard of it. That is near where you find the rock monuments of the presidents, Mount Rushmore, I'm sure she's talking about. Also, the passion play is presented in, I don't know how to pronounce this place, Switzerland. In any case, I had read and was somewhat familiar with this idea, but one Christmas after a missionary conference that always took place in Bamenda, I had the opportunity to go and visit some of my fellow missionaries who were working in Mbem. If you know where that is, I have an idea. I don't know. It's like the end of the world in Cameroon. It's like the end of the world in Cameroon, right on the border between Cameroon and Nigeria, in northeastern Cameroon, I think. In any case, while I was visiting there, the idea for doing this kind of a presentation was born. When I came back to Seka, I spoke to the principal about it. He agreed, and I went to my house, in between all my other responsibilities, and began to write. Now, if you remember, all of the spoken parts were direct scripture passages.
Yes.
I used passages from all the Gospels, the idea being to make the story complete. But the beginning started with the prophecies concerning the coming of the Messiah. You know, I haven't thought about this for a long time, and reminiscing like this is good for me too.
Oh.
The writing did not take that long. It was the selecting of the characters. Choosing people whose personalities fit the part.
Yes, if you knew.
Somewhere in all that has been written for the Jubilee celebrations, someone tried to remember who characterized some of the parts, and one of those is the part of Jesus. I will never forget who that was. It was Ane Akob. I don't know if you were at school when she was there, but she fit it very well. Yes, I was.
That's right.
All of this thinking back is great and good. I am grateful to God to have been given the ability and talent to have had the opportunity. Yes, it was work, the many hours of practice, frustrating sometimes.
Don't be so.
The sewing of all the costumes, working with Mr. Bawe, God rest his soul, who did the preparing of the different stages and putting up the lights, etc. But I know he enjoyed it immensely. There is one thing I will never forget, and that is the girls in the play had a difficult time understanding why they were not talking.
Yes, me too. I was wondering. I said, why? Why could we not talk?
And everything was being read by a narrator. And it wasn't really until dress rehearsal night when they were in full costume and the choir did their part. And we even had a few people making up a small audience that it all came together for them. There is one student who did a lot of work and did a great job. And I referred to her as the stage director. She made sure that everyone was in the right place at the right time because I was busy directing the choir, but I can't remember who she was. It had been Bindi would have remembered.
Yes.
Well, enough reminiscing. I must get going. I have to go to the store. Hope you don't mind my rambling, but I think that it is good sometimes. And these last few weeks have caused that to happen. You know what? So that was the end of that email that I came back and said, just as the scriptures promise, God's word never does not return void. Lives were changed by these theater presentations. Souls were and still are being saved through the music. So I was writing to the seeker groups. I said, my dear sisters, as we continue to sing those songs of faith, we share the gospel with others and grow in our own faith. And that is something we will always cherish and be grateful for. I'd like to end by dedicating this touching song to Miss Kern. And this was a song called Thank You for Giving to the Lord, because we gave to the Lord, we benefited. So that is definitely the email I wanted to share with you and our listeners and viewers. So they know what she put in, when we make a fuss about it, while we were doing, let me stop the share so I can see our faces much better. Why it is important to us to go back like this and remember all of this stuff because of the work that went into it, that she took her time to do so. I also had and the email that she sent towards the end. I think it was like maybe 2 to 3 weeks before she passed on, and she was saying, not feeling well, thinking about going into a group home because she's not able to do things that she had been able to do. And you know what happened then is that her brother went over to Canada, who is in California here, went over to Canada to convince her to finally stop living in the house where she was by herself, because it was worrisome for them that what if something happens to her, who will be there? And then just as she moved into the place and was there for a bit, and then she fell sick, and then she passed on. And then the story that I was trying to show in the other picture that you saw, let me go and pull that one up, and that will be the last share. Then we can start away. Was this right here? After I shared that story, like that email that I read, people came back and reacted to it on that group where we were. They came and talked and talked. And so what I did was compile all those things that you all said. I remember Marie saying something. I remember Ma saying something. Esther was on that group, Ngonde saying something. Marie Lottin too. So what I did was take it to the printer, to Kinko's, the printing place there, have them print the thing and put it in this little booklet right here. Yes. With all of our things that we said. I remember this, all the things that we are saying now live.
Nice, wonderful.
Took it to the printer there and they made a cover of it. So now she was born May 13th. Sometimes her birthday falls on Mother's Day. So this lady is the secretary of their church that she had introduced me to. So I wrote to Hannah and said, we want to surprise her, don't tell her. So that morning I said, oh, happy Mother's Day. She said, oh, nice of you to remember that. Guess what, it's also my birthday. I didn't say anything because I didn't just respond to her email. I didn't want to say anything because I already talked to this lady here who had already prepared, who already had received this book and was going to do. So the lady came up. I don't think I have that picture. Okay, no, that's how with her flowers. There was it's another picture where the lady comes up to the stage there and is talking to her. This is the Sket's congregation.
Okay.
So she was saying there's somebody in the congregation who served as a missionary in Africa. And so Miss Ken says that when they were saying that, she was like, oh, wow, she must like to meet this person after church. And let them share their stories. Ooh, this is really good.
Because she too was in Africa.
Yes, she was in Africa. She was going to ask her what country she was in. Let them say. So the woman talked there and then said, okay, you see, she was walking with this walker. You see the walker right here. So that's why the lady left the stage and came and gave it to her. And she was so surprised and shocked and really happy and came and wrote an email, which I don't want to go and look for that one now to start reading. But that was it. So this wasn't long before she passed.
Wow.
Oh.
Yes. And but then she got to read for people. what.
It's so wonderful, yeah.
The thing is, it's
Read those
always
things.
good. That's why at times it's better for us to give tribute to people when they're still alive.
Alive.
You know, there's one tribute that Egbe, you did put on Seka Pride when Daddy Atogho was alive.
Yes.
For me, it was 10,000 times better than after he had passed, because he heard how people appreciated what he did. And so even her having to leave and to see that she was much appreciated, and not people coming to make long speeches after she's
at her funeral.
Yeah.
And that is how the Seka Pride even started. Because look, if that was trying to say, when they send this thing, I'm like, what am I going to do with them? I'm looking at them here, I'm happy and it looks good, but then nobody else is saying the thing. Let people stand and put it out there.
So
And so they could get to know before they leave. And you see, if one had waited, look at now, 60 years after, 10 years from the 50th anniversary, she's not there anymore.
She's not there.
Mr. Witt is not there anymore. Mrs. Witt is not there anymore. You see, they had gone, but before they went, they got to see and know, and they were thrilled.
So wonderful.
Miss Kern stayed, she just lived on that Seka Pride thing there, and she will text you. At the end of the day, I come back and find an email there. She's asking, is that the sister of so and so who was there? What year?
Okay, she recognizes
a name, and then she's asking you. She said when Sister Monica Aquachere had to go to that India for her surgery. Miss Kern followed me. I think I was the nurse in the woman's ward. Have you had any report today from Aquachere? I'm like, Aquachere. No, I said no. I will ask and find out. She was following the thing up. I mean, like wanting to really know about her daughters. It was a big deal for her. So
yes.
All of what you all did there, it is, I mean, it warmed her heart to see. They went there in faith, they went and did the best they could. They hoped for the best, and then you all have gone ahead now and become exactly what they were hoping. In your different spheres, do whatever you're doing, but
young Christian themselves.
As Pa Yamba used to call us. Well, at this part, yes, call us. So, ladies, let us go ahead. I have no clue how much time will be here. I suspect it will be like maybe you'll be surprised how much time passes.
Yeah.
It's almost
going to 2 hours.
It's not like
it's almost 2 hours we've been here.
It's almost 2 hours.
Imagine that. So I guess this has to just have a part 2 at some point in time. Because I don't think everybody has actually emptied their belly with all of this.
We never even the tip of the iceberg. We never
you never scratch the surface. All right. So let us have closing words then. I think we just lost Ngonde again now.
Yes.
Let us close with everybody's closing something for this time, starting with Missy, who was actually the person who now spurred me to do this thing with that Zacchaeus business.
I think it would be a good idea if anybody with the technical know-how can put together a playlist of some of these songs that we've talked about and put them in a way that people can be shared.
Right.
Where people can access it and have, just like what you're saying, you have on that radio station you listen to. Since these our Seka songs are hard to find in regular churches. If we could compile the playlist and make it available to anybody who is interested in it, I think that would be excellent.
Correct. I started bit by bit with the ones that you put out, that Ma put out too. I will now do this real quick and see whether it was this thing right here. It looks so dull. Let me just see. You see, I started. You see, Is That Isn't Love? Is that your song? Wonderful story of love. How great our joy, 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 joy. So eventually, I'm just going to start with a list like this, and then try to get the songs, the best tunes that we can have. With this committee right here, you've been officially recruited. Clap for yourself.
with promotion and increase in salary.
Some of them are slightly different, like some of their tempos are different from what we have. So we can organize and have people sing, and they have all this technology where you can put voices together, and then we get the way it was done.
That would be even better. And that's what just out there. So we'll see. Okay, Ngonde is back, thank God.
Yeah. The other thing too that and I did mention that to you when you called me and you were asking me if I wanted to be part of this, is that we'll really appreciate having the pictures too.
Yes.
Because
That was lovely.
some of us have. I remember for the 50th anniversary, I was asked for pictures, and I gave my pictures, and they never came back to me. So I don't even have.
And that's why
Sisako never gave my pictures. Later,
okay, you're reporting, but belong on the air.
Reporting her.
Yes, I'm reporting her. Yeah,
officially.
And now, and where are my pictures? Oh, Marie, you know, I get plenty pictures, I cannot really remember. And I said, okay, that's it.
You go talk, so you go make some who had the court now who have just given their pictures now for this one. Come back.
Don't give the hard copy. Scan it.
Yeah, that's a mistake. That's a mistake.
That's why it's taking me this long, you see, because that's what I did.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Like the better sense is I don't have that I say some box.
Big box, yeah.
Scan, so that I can send her back her hard copies, let her hold them to her heart, but then we have the what we can see, and I can put a link and people can look at it and just share, look at the thing and be fine with it. Because if not, those things to keep them, they'll get lost, or Milji go catch them. When I wait, you go do them. Limbe floats and all those things. Yes. So I will take the time and scan them, and then now be able to. I'm actually trying to put all of these things, compile them in time for that 60th anniversary, so they can be. I'm doing a book already, trying to get a book of with this letter that she just wrote. I just read those things where you see the person actually talking, saying I this. Before we start fight and quarrel over. When did the school start again? Someone say it started in 1950. Another one in 1968. Another one. No. The person who started the school says it herself, says start this year, it's written down. That's why finally I sat there down to myself and said, these things need to be compiled, and I'm trying to get that done. So Missy gave her views. Maria has asked Sisako to give her pictures back. Okay. Ma, what are your thoughts? We're trying to look easy word. Hold on, Ma. Ngonde, if you can, because I see that this thing is really shaking.
You are in and out.
Out. So if you want
having problems.
Ashia. So you go ahead and just tell us your impressions.
I'm having problems. Can you hear me?
We can hear
you. We can now.
I can hear you.
Speak.
What did you say?
So I was saying we've done 2 hours and we cannot believe how long we've been here. So we're trying to close down this first part. I promise there's going to be a part 2 down the road. But we wanted to say a last word, and we're going person by person. So what are your impressions? What do you think? What is your closing thing? Your closing word?
Well, I think it's a great start. And like Sister Marie said, we would love to have some of the pictures. Please.
They are a ton of them. It's a matter of sitting down there now and scanning, and then.
Yeah, I know, it's a lot of work, I know. Scanning
and put them in order real quick before today. I was sitting down there in the night. Someone was asking, what are you up in the night? Trying to scan 1 or 2 more to put together in this thing and try to put them in order, but I just at least got them out there.
We thank God for the grace He gave you to be able to do that.
Thank God.
Yes.
It will be ready. I promise it will be ready before we actually time to celebrate, so that you can have links to go look at them. Right. And so
I believe with time, I'm sure God will, there's something about this group. I think with time, something will come up. I believe so. Not just Miss Kane. Yeah, something is going to come up. I believe so. Yeah.
With God, things don't just happen. Everything by Him is planned. So as I face tomorrow, with its problems large and small, I trust the God of miracles. Give to Him my all.
Amen.
Amen. Things which are quite a bit stressed.
And this is somebody who said in Seka that she could not sing.
Or Mr. Baptist
Yes, Mr. Dame had his own.
I was just about to talk about Mr. Dame. I know he'll do it and then bring it.
And then hold it.
Yes.
La okro.
Yes.
They sound. Oh, pray
then there was also there was a laba.
Yes.
Laba si la vous de toilette.
This call no finish. I beg, look.
Egbe, Jane has just said there. Jane has just said that we should not forget that she wanted to share about the part that Faith had in us playing those roles, singing, and so maybe in the second part, when we get the chance to do another, people can talk about how
it impacted them. This was to show the actual thing, what it was like. Because we make a fuss. And Miss Ken, the younger ones are like, I said, the old woman, the auntie them. I said,
yes. There are some songs that you hear the way this younger generation, the way they are singing it, and you're like, I'm sorry, no. How did you girls learn this song? They were so far. This is not, you people have massacred Miss Ken's. And Cynthia is like, no, that's how the song is. I said, no.
It wasn't like that. But you know that even us two had problems with that, with the older ones.
Yes.
That's just what I wanted to say. We also had problems with the older ones.
Yeah. People with their songs
even now, just last year, when late sister Blanche was passed on, our God rest her soul, when her son passed, I see them there in the church in Bunamusali, they're singing the song. So it was sometimes this day I'm going home, we'll soon be done. We'll soon be done with troubles and trials. They have faith from heartache, pain, and care. We shall all that glory. You can see, I clearly see Sister Dora too, who was going to go on that part. And all of us, the younger ones from my time, just went on, I'm gonna sit down beside my Jesus. You can see her do this. Like, we cannot suffer this.
What did both versions have pam param pam?
Yes.
Pam param pam.
What is ram pam? Generational differences. Generational differences.
I have a question.
Even we who are telling the world that they're not doing well.
Me too. Someone is telling us that we are not doing well.
Somebody mentioned faith, and I'd like to know how many of us found our faith in Seka. Did you come with it, or was it resurrected there, or was it born there?
That's a good question.
I came with it.
I came with it.
Very good.
Was it deepened?
Very much
deepened, and then the songs. The song
very much so.
The songs when I'm in church, because I'm Catholic from home, and this was Baptist. There was something that the Seka
more
brought
lively.
the two for me. Seka brought the two together for me, because
then
before
also,
that Baptist was away, but now I took the songs, the way that I interpreted them, and then put that with my faith and the things that I'm hearing in the Catholic Church, and that is what has formed me for who I am now.
That's wonderful.
Did the sisterhood help to increase that faith? I wonder.
It did.
And I think also one major thing in Seka that, it says nothing happens for nothing, right? Spiritual emphasis, whether we want it or not, whether at that time people saw the importance or not, something was sown in our spirits during those spiritual emphasis. At times you even graduated and you didn't even realize that something was sown, but something was sown. And that thing, that's why, at the beginning, I talked about we going to Seka and Seka going through us. The Seka going through us is that spiritual seed that was sown in our lives. And I said, if there is any Sekarites who at this point in time doesn't have that spiritual, that faith thing, that spiritual thing, then we really need, that person needs the special grace of God, because I believe that something was sown in each and every one of us, in our spirits, unknowingly. We were young. Many of us didn't want that kind of strict discipline. I know that's where many of us, because some of us in our families, people were not punishing or they were not doing, but then you come to this system where, but I'll tell you one thing, even though Seka changed over the years, even with their disciplinary thing, there is one thing that I believe Seka will always sow in people, because my daughter went to Seka just for 3 years. But I tell you that when we came to Canada, the first thing that she told me when she went to this day school here was that, Mama, you know something? It was good that you sent me to Seka before we come for this white man country, because there is something that school gave me that can make me, you know how here they say, oh, you bully a child, the child commits suicide and all that, you know, that kind of a thing. But she said, I feel like I am so strong inside.
Grounded.
And I know that it is because of those days in boarding school. So Seka did so in our lives. And we're just grateful to God because, as I said, with God, things don't just happen.
Right. I mean, Esther was going to say something right when we started.
I'm glad you saw me really in my thoughts. I was going to speak very open-heartedly that actually when I personally was in Seka, what went through was what I realize now is what I had in the past that fertilized my present and really gave me a boost in my faith to be whom I am now. So what happened at that time, the songs and everything and the memory verses and the Bible reading, Bible studies and the spiritual emphasis, those things are still written in the tablets of our hearts. That even right now, I find myself in situations that those word of God, those memory verses from those years behind, they are helping me now in my faith.
Oh,
I was in bed for about 3 months with the total knee operation replacement. So I will tell you, this is a personal testimony because that time you will not be able to sit up to read your Bible. You don't even, because of the heavy medications, you cannot even pray. But those memory verses came back to me, and that is what I was just seeing them encouraging me, and the songs, and it really fertilized my present, my present situation, and so that's just the thanks. It's sad that Miss Kern cannot hear this, but
don't worry.
Yes.
Don't worry. The few of us who got a chance to say something, she represent the stories are the same. The details and particulars may vary, but our stories are so much the same.
Yes.
So some of us came with our faith there, but it was clearly very much deepened there. And the things that support you sometimes through life, something happens and you think of a song and say, look at day by day, and with each passing moment, strength I find to meet my trials here. Trusting in my Father's wise bestowment, I have no cause for worry or for fear. Oh, exactly. You see that and you say, it was better. It was also big, okay.
How about you can smile when you can't say a word?
Yeah, those songs.
Yes. When you feel like doing something very different, try to one of the students that you teach. I'm like,
And there was also a song like that when I face challenges and I say, you can talk about me, you can talk about me, you can talk about
you care.
You care. All that you care. I'll talk about you
all that you please.
Yes, all that you please. Those songs.
I'll be down on my knees.
I've been redeemed by
at the close of the day when I kneel to pray.
I like that one.
And those memory verses used to be a thing. I'm like, why would you come and make somebody learn a whole, how many of it? And now I sit there and the things come back to me and I can complete whatever the pastor says. My kids are like, wow. They don't realize because I went over day. It was an actual exam. It was an actual exam.
Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Let it be unto me as
you have said.
Those
they just come in, yes. John 3:16.
Yes.
I would like to share one more thing and then I'll shut up.
No.
You come up with very good ideas, Missy. Don't shut up.
Don't shut up.
Before I even came to Seka, as you probably all know, my father died and he was Catholic. And I didn't know much about the Catholic Church because my dad was not a practicing Catholic. We used to go to the Anglican Church or the Presbyterian Church. And so here we are in Catholic Church, Newtown, new to Cameroon, don't know the ways of anything. And first of all, the priest comes with the incense and, they're blowing it on us and Welly and I are trying to blow it away. And this lady leans over and tells us, don't do that. They'll think you're an evil spirit if you don't want the incest. The incest.
To you.
But then what all of us, every last one of us, my brothers and sisters, what we all remember from Daddy's funeral was what the Seka girls sang that day. God will take care of you. I didn't know them. Of course, Seka knew them, but you know what they sang that day, and they sang it from the heart, and we've never forgotten that. We can never hear that song again without thinking of that. But the way they sang it, they weren't just singing. This was from the heart. Yeah. I've never, you know, you hear the song by other people. It's never the same. It's never as good. I mean, you can hear professionals singing it. It's nothing compared to the way those girls sang that day.
They prayed it. They prayed it as the song.
As a song,
yeah. You see the effect. You see the effects of this thing. Ma, sorry, go right ahead. You haven't shared yet.
Yes. During this pandemic, with all that has gone on, with all the losses, one song that has ministered to me and that I have shared with many people in their difficult times is He Giveth More Grace. When you think of the words,
right,
it is deep. It is deep. And Saturday, 27th of March, some friends were having a funeral for their dad, a Zoom funeral for their dad who had passed away from COVID. And I sang that song to them. I mean, I didn't intend to sing, but as the thing went on, I just saw the need to share in their pain. Before that, they had shared in my pain because my uncle had passed away, and my uncle and they had played a key role in my uncle's life. And then my uncle passed away before they did. And then my cousin also passed away. Well, it was a lot of things. Well, long story short, that day, I just felt the need to sing to them. So I sang that song to them. But just before that funeral started, the Zoom started, I got word that my mom was sick. Saturday 27th and Monday 29th, my mom passed. But this song that I sang to them, it took its time, but it came back to me. And for some reason, for many of the people who have been in pain, just a few sentences of that song I've used those words just to bring comfort to others in my pain, in their pain. Before I even had, I can't even talk of before because I had a series, right? From 2020, it wasn't even a series. Before my mom, after my mom. So, but that goes back to Seka. That goes back to that seed that was sown. That goes back, that song. The words. And it says, when you have reached the end of your store of endurance, that is when you think He's only begun. And through life, I've gone through some very low moments.
Oh, yes.
I've gone through, but I have learned that God's grace is sufficient, and it can lift me up from anywhere. It has taught me compassion, but a lot. So it's like the seed that was sown. Of course, I came to Seka with my faith, as Missy was asking. I came to Seka with my faith, and I lived through it. And but right now, as I look back, we all know life has its ups and downs, and we've gone through, but I have learned compassion because of the weaknesses I have known, the failures I have known. They've taught me they've taught me compassion. And it takes me back to spiritual emphasis when there was always insistence on forgiving, on making peace, on I don't know, but we got some values which
They didn't. You see, Ma, there's nothing about when they say train up a child in the way that it should go, and when it's older, you're going to fight for. At the time, they are telling you to reconcile. For which it was a matter of like, you cut my water. What is the reconcile? You want cut friend, the little pinky finger cut friend. Not a big thing. You get older, then somebody happens something to you much deeper. Then you're realizing now's the time to implement that thing.
Yes.
So you give them more grace when the burdens grow greater. Abundance there was there are dry pepper we buy for market. Some man can take and shake and for in chop. You know, that's your burden was gone greater.
Yeah,
But the strength was to clear your plot.
Don't finish and Sunday is a long time away.
Then you get older. Then life starts to happen. Then you understand.
Yeah.
And Ma, just so we can continue yes. So that's just so we can continue the legacy. You see what one willing person, one madam who sat here in Canada with that big family said, I'll go to Cameroon.
Amen.
You go and you slap the bakuri flies off your legs, but you stay there. And go get the little banged up piano there, ding ding down, saying, oh, everybody sing that part, you sing over there and teach the songs. You do your part and you go and sit in Canada. Then how many years after, 60 years after, Mars are sitting here. Remember. Each one of us with our own children. When our children go to those things, we sit and tell them the same things.
You know, and when you listen to people singing now, you're like, I mean, are they singing? You have a whole choir singing only part 1 and part 2. They don't even know that it is called soprano, alto,
they don't know. My children are like, mommy, just let it go. Because if some person sing with the wrong chord here,
I go, yes.
Excuse me. 2 parts. Come on.
So I just stopped singing because the thing it is bothering the life out of me to hear them sing out of tune.
To teach them
I am peaceful, for I know
the winds may blow. Have an uncle safe and sure that shall evermore endure. And it holds my ankle.
I remember Ken, if you sing wrong, no Heidi Hala.
Yes.
Oh my God,
Heidi,
so small and free.
Yes. Who is singing a wrong tune?
My mom was so good to like to teach a few songs during her classes. She used to call it who's adding that magic part. That was what she called it, the magic part.
Who's singing a wrong note? Who is singing?
Yeah, right. Yes. So
and do you realize Seka has created a new version of Happy Birthday that has gone all over the world.
Yeah.
This thing I was doing and the anniversary, your own brother at Sakim sang Happy, sang that version. Yeah. And people were typing in the thing, oh, the Seka style.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We took it home. Everybody, my family, my nephews, everybody sings but the Seka style now.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and that. Yes.
Everybody. We sang it, me and Didi, we sang it to Dina when Dina performed.
I have a recording of that.
He requested it.
Really?
Yes.
He said, you people are from Seka, right? He brought his chair.
Exactly. He must have
He said, sing that Happy Birthday from.
Right.
Honestly, it's so much. So I tell you, I don't know. We have just touched the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
We have not even started. I mean, we don't start until I don't know how they can go.
That is it. So the good place to end is for us to push this whole thing, do our own little witness here. I pulled up while we were talking, pulled up the song, He Giveth More Grace.
Yeah.
So we can go on with that at least and hear those words that inspired, that gave you comfort, that gave that grieving family comfort that maybe someone is listening to now, doesn't know the song. I'll just read the verses. It says, you see, other time you just sang them as for the melody, like I was saying.
Yes.
Where does the line fits nicely, is now you are listening to them. So I'm going to try to read and not sing. It says, He giveth more grace when the burdens grow greater. He sendeth more strength when the labors increase. To added affliction, he addeth his mercy. To multiply trials, his multiplied peace. His love has no limit. His grace has no measure. His power has no boundary known unto men. For out of his infinite
riches
riches in Jesus, he giveth
and
and
giveth
and giveth again. Okay. So when we have exhausted our store of endurance, which means you don't tire.
Yes.
When our strength has failed, ere the days have done, which ere is like before the days have done. Your power don't finish, your breeze don't cut.
Before. Yes.
Have
done. When we reach the end of our hoarded resources, if you don't keep on the pack and the bed, then you have spent.
Oh.
Our Father's full giving is only
beginning.
It's just started.
Amen.
You know, lately we have lost people. I'm tired of typing the obituaries.
I'm sure you are.
Oh yes, I have started a fresh page to start on page. In memoriam page 1, in memoriam page 2, in memoriam page 3, the ad they go.
In the only ad.
Yes, there's a clash in conflicts of whose burial you're going to, whose other one you're attending. So I'm hoping that this, maybe somebody has listening, as you say, nothing ever happens, God's word never goes out and returns void. Somebody's probably listening to this for whom this is going to be some comfort. The song Missy has shared as well. God will take care of you.
Amen.
May it bring you, tough as it may be now that you're going through something like, God will take care of me. Well, why did he first do so and so thing? You're at the point where you're like, look, no. Our job is to just go by you and say, just hang in there and pray you through this. And try to make you see that brighter days are ahead. It will get better. And that after everything, you hang on to that faith, and we know that even if things don't necessarily become the best that they are here, we have the firm belief that where we do go, if we have believed in him like we were taught, as we know, then we do get to a time when all of this will pass away. And now I begin to think about no tears, sorrow and pain will all have flowed. Because you see, that's how one more song just keeps popping up, and you can see
when you think,
And when I think of Miss Kern's life, I just think of each day I'll do
a golden deed.
A golden deed. She did a golden deed. And just look at what she
did.
And this, whenever I will find a way to send it to her family and let them know, because some of them don't quite know the extent to which their person that went out there did. They come, they tell a few stories, they see a few artifacts, they don't quite know. I know that because when I went to Ma Westerman's funeral, one of them just followed us to the parking lot as we were leaving and just hugged us and said, our aunt told us, no, our sister, because there's one with a beard, our sister told us what it is that she had done there. She went there a number of times, she sent pictures, but this is the first time I'm seeing a flesh and blood person that came from the food that has this is the product, this is what she went to do. This is what they told us. Our older sister has gone over she went on a boat.
Wow.
Yeah.
The banana boats of all things.
Golden days.
But yes. They actually said she set sail. Like
Mungo
Park.
She set
sail. And they probably didn't know if they would ever see her again. Back in the
day. Probably.
Because the story that her brother told, this is now my wife, was that she was what they call a blue baby. She coded. And so that her mother said, if you let God to God, if you let this child live and she ever says she wants to serve you, I will not stand in her way. She was a bit different from Samuel's mother who said, I will definitely give. This one said, if she wants to serve, I will not stand in her way. And so when she got up at age 21 and said she's going to Africa, her brothers and siblings were like, no, that's not happening. She is the mother who got up to say, remember, we almost lost her, and that is the promise I made. If she wants to go, she should be allowed to go. And she went, founded the school, came back there. Somebody wrote an email the other day who was saying, I think Miss Westerman was principal again, because I remember her being in the school in 1971, and I just smiled here because I said, that is not how it happened. She came back, she founded the school, went and worked in other places, came back there and did other jobs, house mother. Can you imagine us? I was the principal. Send me back to come and teach under the hood.
Yeah, founder.
That's why this person thought, okay, I think Miss Westerman served twice, and I just did not want to come and tell her, because I was a class of 17, I wished, she will say, "Sorry, come what small quacker to say different." But because I've read the thing, when she came back, she gladly sat there and served her as, I think, house mother, and just taught something and such.
Servant leader.
Amen. Yeah. Yeah.
It's made the school go for before. All these other little things don't matter.
It's fine, yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so
You have that attitude when you're saying all the glory belongs to God.
right.
You have the attitude that na me a creator, na my thing, when you think that you are the author of the thing. Right?
Yeah.
You start and you want to start taking the glory for having created
You are not the
it.
vessel.
Right.
So she was just a vessel that God was using, and she
Using.
knew that she's just the vessel. She was not, even if she was the person who made it, she knew that God used her to
Right.
build it.
Yes.
Yeah. And ladies, this just brings me to say that even in this time and age, all of us, the Bible says, let no man take the glory that is due to God, to himself. Everything that we have been able to do, even the fact that we've been able to gather here,
breathe,
today, is because of his grace and his mercy upon our lives.
Right.
We're able to share a lot, but because God allowed it to be so. Not because Marie has done anything special, not because Egbe is such a fantastic person, not because no, it's not that. God is using Egbe, God is using Missy, Marie, and he's just using us to come together. As you said, Egbe, we don't know where this thing is going to be, it's going to go, and we don't know the impact it will have in somebody's life, whether it will build up somebody's faith. Somebody was about to give up and say, oh, but you know what? I listened to Barbara. She lost so many people, but she's still standing on that faith and knowing that God remains God, and God is able to take care of me. Missy, I also love the fact that you're sharing about your dad dying shortly after you returned, right?
Right. Yeah. And her mom not so long after.
And you know, I kind of identified with that because, well, except Barbara and maybe Esther, who know. My father, we lived in the US and we went back to Cameroon in 1969, and my father died 5 months after we returned.
Wow.
So I was entering Seka like an orphan, and I was miserable, and I knew there was no hope. So Seka has really done something in our lives, and this is something that we cannot ignore. We can never ignore that.
No.
And that is the way I look at this. Maybe see where you're going to say something, please.
I was going to say to what Sister Marie was saying. I had read somewhere that the British boarding schools back in the day, the teachers, I mean, this is just one person's opinion, the teachers were aware that the more the students suffered, the more they bonded in their hatred for the teachers. But that brought them together. So in Seka, I think there was a bit of that. We suffered, you know, clearing the crafts and scrubbing the toilets and all of that. A lot of us had not done that sort of thing at home. So you bond in the strange environment and the hardships and everything. So when something was good, it felt extraordinarily good as compared to the other stuff, especially us Ajibotas from
Yes. You got there like you turn the tap and nothing is coming. I'm like, what do you mean nothing is coming?
What do you mean there's no water?
They're like, no, you get a bucket. I'm like, I'm like standing there. This water must come out. This is a tap now. Open the thing, it will come out. They're like, stand there, carry a bucket, begin to pass the go. That's that kind of a thing. But as when Marie was speaking, the song that came to mind about it is Channels Only.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Channels only,
Oh my goodness.
blessed Master,
and
thou canst use us
every
day.
That's the idea. I say that to myself all the time. There is no way he put you where you are and gave you the resources for you to just use them like that and not Because he could have picked anybody else. If he gave them to you, there's a reason. They're supposed to be doing. That's why for me, it doesn't.
But you know, sometimes we fight against it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the thing and do and say
fight against it.
And a lot of times we do not even understand why he takes us through certain things.
Yeah, we'll understand him better by and by.
Because yes, look, because Missy, you're sharing your experience. Marie is resonating. It resonates with Marie, and you don't know who else may pick up from what you have shared.
Mm-hmm.
The things God takes us through, the things I have gone through, they have taught me lessons, and they have made me more understanding of others.
Right.
Yeah.
There are things that we don't accept certain things, and there are other things that we go through which we would never have imagined.
Oh,
were it not for God's grace.
Oh,
and because of that, it teaches us compassion now for
correct.
Anything that's in
That's true.
Honestly, we are channels in the Lord's hands.
Yeah,
I was helping to write our class story for the Jubilee. What that kept on coming to my mind was the fact that we are the clay in the potter's hand. And God used Seka as a pottery shop to mold us.
Right.
Very nice. Very wonderful.
With snakes and all.
To be
right.
To be every
moment
and every day.
Yes.
Spiritual emphasis.
Those are the things.
Completely to Jesus alone. Good.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Are just coming
for everything. You open your mouth and say
everything.
Song for it. Open your mouth and say something. There's a song for it. Yeah. So even with the graduation one, right in the corner where you are, you don't have to wait to be anything. Wait until some deed of greatness you may do. If you are not going to be Oprah Winfrey, then don't speak. No.
That's true.
In your own neighborhood, they never see her. They see you. You do your part there to the best. Yes, I'm sure we will get to midnight if we don't stop. We're not enough. So I want to thank Marie Evehe from Canada. Thank Missy over here in the US. Thank Ma over there in the US here in Florida. Esther was in Sweden.
In the
Netherlands, I'm sorry. Marie over there in the UK. We hadn't gone there from Abuja in Nigeria. We had Sarah Mengot from Abuja in Nigeria too. We had Patty. Where's Patty?
She was
she's in Douala.
Yes, she's in Douala. Okay.
And Jane
was in Bamenda. So we had a good sampling of Seka girls here. And I know that who Seka girls who are going to listen to it. I'm sure I'm going to have to split this thing into 2 parts because I don't know who's going to sit and listen to 4 hours worth of stuff. To split it into part 1 and part 2. And I'm sure they're going to say, yes, Mama, I swear. They'll be agreeing with all of what we're saying because the story is the same, appropriate, about the same experience. So, and by thanking God for these servants that He sent to come and do His work, we are glad that they heeded the call and obeyed because some of us are like, I'm not going. This Mbem that I'm talking about, like that, I'm there, I'm Cameroonian. I'm not going to do Mbem. I'm not going to but they came from outside the country from all of the comforts that they were used to and went to the places, and we thank God that we did, and it has stayed with us, and may we do the best we can to pass on the faith of our fathers and mothers to the next generation. So thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Taking your time to come and sit here. We've used our Memorial Day or Remembrance Day. We put it to good use. Remembering one special lady. Many like her, yes, Miss EUNICE. May her soul rest on. And when we all get together, what a day of rejoicing that will be.
Oh my God.
The wondrous love of Jesus.
Barbara,
and I'm so happy to see people after
50
years.
I'm telling you.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. It doesn't mean that people should go away. I know who that. I just want to stop the recording so that the rest of the things, yes.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
God bless you all. Love you.
Bye.